Welcome back to Crime Chats. Tiny room, microphone, endless crimes.
Yeah. Before we get started, I wanted to tell you about our sponsor, No Stone Unturned Investigations. I honestly couldn't be more thrilled about this. Full disclosure, the owner is my father-in-law. Hi, John. Honestly, though, I'd be telling you guys about him even if he wasn't my father-in-law. He is incredibly intelligent, resourceful, and one of those people who genuinely loves solving problems and helping others. He truly cares about everyone he helps, and he's got a warmth about him that just puts everyone at ease. As a licensed private investigator serving Texas and New Mexico, he helps people locate missing individuals, reconnect with birth parents, identify heirs, conduct background and social media investigations, and much, much more. He even helps attorneys with litigation support and process serving. Basically, he does it all, and he does it all well. If you've ever found yourself searching for answers and hitting a dead end, that's the person I'd call. He will help you solve mysteries with discretion and integrity, and he will leave no stone unturned. Visit nsupi.com or call 512-766-7794.
So, today, I think I say it every week, is a doozy. We are starting a new month. Happy August, happy birthday month. And August's theme is not guilty by reason of insanity. So we are covering cases with that involved. Either the person is found not guilty by reason of insanity, or they try to play not guilty by reason of insanity. Regardless, has to do with that theme. And today's our first one.
Yay!
It's long, but it needs to be, because we need to understand a lot of stuff, and we're dealing with mental disorders and illnesses, so there's a lot of kind of diving deep into diving deep into those kinds of ideas. And
if you like our silly shenanigans, stay tuned for more.
Okay, so as usual, I need you to close your eyes.
Okay.
And you are going to imagine it is the year of 2008. You are a man.
Okay.
A young man.
I'm always a man.
So, you're a man, you're a young man in Canada.
Okay.
We're Canadian.
Mm.
And it is July 30th, so summer 2008. You're a Canadian traveler riding the Greyhound bus 1170 to Winnipeg. You are currently in Edmonton, so you're going from pretty much the far west all the way to far east.
That's where last week's thing happened, in Edmonton.
Interesting. I knew it was Canada. I couldn't remember the city or the location exactly. But so nice. We're coming back to similar grounds from last week.
Full circles everywhere.
So from Edmonton, west side of Canada, to Winnipeg, which is on the easter side of Canada. Very long trip. Okay. So it will take, I even put that in there, long trip. It's about 800 miles, or I think 1,300 kilometers, give or take, in there. Very long. And of course, they don't just go continuously. You got to stop and get gas and snacks and stuff. So as you're preparing,
and sleep, right?
You can sleep on the bus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're those comfy fabric chairs, So you're preparing
very comfortable
for your trip by loading songs onto your iPod.
Oh,
we just talked about iPod.
Oh,
I know, and that's what we're talking about.
Blast from the past with the wheel.
Shardy, yes. Oh, my first one too. It's all thick boy, and barely anything. Yeah. Anyways, okay, focus. In the zone. You're a young man on a Greyhound bus. Got your iPod stocked with nice songs, maybe an audiobook or podcast or two. I don't know if podcasts were really hot back then, but you're getting ready to just settle in and take a nap. And before you close your eyes, you kind of notice right across the aisle from you. So it's like a 2 seats aisle, 2 seats.
Okay.
And then the windows kind of on each side of those.
Okay.
So you notice across the aisle from you is sitting a man who's catching your attention because he's acting oddly. He's wearing sunglasses inside, but it's like 8 p.m. So it's dark
I wear
outside.
my sunglasses at nights.
Anyways, that's beautiful. So are you still imagining?
Yes.
Okay. That's not the only thing I'm thinking about this traveler. He also has a roll of toilet paper that he never puts down. It's always touching him. Even in a moment, you'll see that he starts to rifle through his carry-on bag at his feet. He wedges the toilet paper roll between his neck and his chest while he rifles through his bag. So just kind of odd behaviors from this traveler across the aisle from you. Suddenly, this passenger pulls out a large hunting knife and begins stabbing the man sitting next to him
Oh my god.
up against the window.
That escalated very quickly.
There was no precursor to that. And people later will kind of understand witness testimonies that they thought this was like the two men were having an argument or, having a squabble and fighting each other.
Am I done imagining?
No.
Okay.
Someone screams, "Stop the bus!" It's all a blood-spattered blur
Oh my gosh.
as you and the other passengers run toward the exit door, clamoring to get out.
Get me out of here.
The crazed man has managed to decapitate the passenger
Oh my god.
and is now holding the head by the hair as if it's a trophy
What?
as he continues to stab, dismember, and mutilate the deceased victim.
Oh my god. Just one guy? Just that one guy?
Open your eyes.
Oh my gosh.
This is the case of Vince Li,
Okay.
the Greyhound killer. It's a great intro. Okay.
That
so-
was a great intro. I'm hooked.
There is, again, a lot to this whole story, and we're in Not Guilty by Reason of Insanity season,
Okay.
so kind of keep that lodged back there too.
Yeah. That's been in my head this whole time.
Okay. Let's get to know the victim.
Okay.
His name, he was born Timothy Richard McLean Jr. on October 3rd, 1985 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. So, like, he's going back home on this bus, right? They were headed,
Okay.
their route was going to Winnipeg.
Okay.
In his childhood, he was always like the life of the party, super active and chatty and totally extroverted.
Oh.
Can't relate. But he was a thrill, he was a fun person to be around and enjoyed music. And once, the early 2000s hit and we got cell phones in like everybody's pocket, he loved taking short videos, vines, if you remember.
I loved Vine.
Of just like fun stuff in his life, his friends and their travels and silly things. He was just enthusiastic and a joy to be around. When he was a young adult, he joined the circus.
Oh.
Not circus, the carnival, I'm sorry. The traveling, let me get the title right here. He was on Western Canada Carnival Circuit.
Oh.
And he was a barker, which is those people that are like, come and get your tickets, like, oh, can you get 3 in a row?
Like he's just like standing there. It's like an attraction. Man that barks.
The barking man. No, he was like the booming, enthusiastic voice of the carnival,
Oh, cool.
And he loved it. He absolutely loved his job. He loved
I feel like that'd be really fun to work at a carnival.
the high energy and just all the time. It was just lights and fun and laughter and, all these it was a good vibe.
And happy people, yeah.
Right. And the people that he worked with, obviously being at a carnival, or I said circus first, but I kind of relate those two very similarly in my mind. You get to know your workers like a little family.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of what he did. And they got to travel. So he loved to travel. And that was just kind of like the perfect job for him.
Yeah.
And so we fast forward to 2008
Mm-hmm.
when he was ending a pretty long stint, contract stint with the carnival. He's like, you know what? I'm going to take a week off, go back home.
Yeah.
And he was in a pretty serious relationship at the time. His girlfriend was pregnant.
Oh.
And he was like, I think it might actually be time for me to just kind of grow up a little. Not grow up and like, you need to grow up, but like, it's time to settle down. It's time to, think about
Okay, that makes sense.
adult life things, and I'm having a kid and my girlfriend, So he's going back home to Winnipeg. his friends had even offered to purchase him a plane ticket because it was so far. And he's like,
Okay.
no, I enjoy the ride. I want to go on the bus. And unfortunately, that would end really terribly for him. We have hindsight. Should have taken the ticket, but who knows?
Yeah.
You know? Um,
That's sad. I was just thinking of when you were talking, he's like really extroverted and everybody loved him.
mhm,
He's the life of the party. That's like all death is hard. Like it's hard to lose anybody. But I feel like the people that are, like that, like extroverted,
mhm.
it's like suddenly it's so quiet
Right.
when they're not there anymore.
Yep.
So I was just thinking about that the whole time. I was like, oh man, like,
Yep.
it must have
It's
been such a big, like suddenly there's this big hole
void. Yeah.
void where his voice was and where
Yep.
his personality was.
He
That's so
had,
sad.
yeah, he was a big human, like in the sense of, yeah, character and personality and
Yeah.
yep. Um, the we'll get into that later. um, at this point, so I have a map, and I'll show you in a minute. But it's the map of the Greyhound bus 1170's route, where it started. Each kind of planned stop or stops that they made, intermixed and whatever, interspersed, and then all the way to the end. So it has all those kinds of blocked out like that.
Okay.
And you can tell, obviously, this isn't the only bus that takes this route. But bus 1170 is where this tragedy happened. There was another bus on going the same route
Okay.
that had left, 2 days earlier. We don't know the bus number right now. It's not important. But there was another person on that bus. So right now they're on different buses.
Okay.
This person is Vince Li.
Okay.
And I'm going to get back to that second bus later, but let's understand Vince a little bit. Let's get to know him.
Okay.
Because if we're going to understand what happened on the bus, we need to know what happened before the bus,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So I'm asking everyone listening, watching, to have just to try to scrape your brains free of any bias you might have toward murderers. Might be kind of hard, but try. This person is just a person. Think of it like that, okay? And there's a reason, clearly. So Vince is a whole, we could spend a month talking about Vince.
Oh, wow.
It is a fascinatingly harrowing story.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So when you heard the intro of me telling you what he was doing to Tim, the inkling or the presumption, I imagine, because it was for me, is to think of this person as having a violent history or a rap sheet of incarcerations and things like that.
Yeah.
That wasn't Vince.
Okay.
Vince was a very unassuming, calm, quiet, keep to himself kind of guy his whole life.
Okay.
Vincent was born in China.
Okay.
He is Chinese. In 1968.
That's not what I imagined in my head, but yeah.
Right. Li, 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 last name. He was born in China. He was born prematurely.
Okay.
Which really did affect his early childhood. He didn't start walking or talking until he was about 5 years old.
Oh.
And he didn't actually enter school until he was 9. And again, I'm not Chinese. You're not Chinese. Everything I know about Chinese culture and families and children and education comes from other sources. I have never been. I don't know, those kinds of things. So these are all my assumptions, presumptions, and observations from my experiences in my life. But the Chinese family culture typically tends to prefer male children in terms of, making something of yourself and honoring our family name.
Plus, they have that rule, right?
I don't know if they have it anymore.
Okay.
The two kid rule.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, if the first is a girl, you can try again for a boy.
Right. And that also might have something, again, it's been a long time since I've looked at these data, but it might have to do with the population being more female-centered or more heavily female populated than male.
Okay.
So they were trying to...
And what I'm saying might be completely wrong or off base. I'm
Right.
just going off of what I've heard. I didn't really look into it.
Well, this was me like 10 years ago when I was teaching world cultures. This was kind of data that I would look at all the time, to teach
yeah.
kids, to teach students this.
Right.
But anyways, then that's what I'm thinking of in my head. Like it wasn't a very equal disbursement of male versus female citizens.
Okay.
So that's kind of where that, and they were overpopulated, the 2-kid rule, but the government was like lenient on if it's not a boy first, you can, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, I'm not sure because I haven't taught world cultures in a long time. Anyways, all of that being said, there wasn't a lot provided on his social part of his upbringing, like how his family was, or things like that, or was he supported, or was he ostracized because he was delayed in, I don't know. That wasn't provided. So we don't know. But what we did know is he didn't follow, again, my brain as an educator, we tend to think kids who are delayed in development tend to have a lot of struggles in school.
Right.
Because it just makes sense to my brain.
Yeah.
But that's not the case for Vince. He actually excelled later in his schooling, and he went to college and computer science. He got a degree in computer science, which is awesome. That's hard. It's not easy if you're not familiar. And so that was really cool for him. I lost my train of thought. School. In 2001, so he was just at 30 years old or 31 years old, right? 68 to 2001. I'm 70, 31, 32. Okay, yeah.
So.
Well, I jump up to 70.
I don't do
1970
math.
to 2000 would be 30. And then plus the 2 plus the 1. So yeah, like 31 to 33 years old. He immigrated to China.
Okay.
And...
You went to America from China? Or... No.
He immigrated to Canada. My bad.
Canada.
I was like, he wasn't in America. What are you talking about? I'm the one who made the mistake. And I'm blaming her.
We're both wrong. Okay.
No. He immigrated to Canada. Both C's. I guess that's why I'm like,
oh,
no.
Yeah.
In 1961. And... No, 1961. 2001. Girl. I'll get it. And
you looked at me like that, and my instinct was to say sorry, but then I was like, what did I do?
Girl was talking to me, but we're reflective of each other, so I am kind of talking to
what
her.
Did I do?
In my own body. It's, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm not sorry.
Girl, stop apologizing.
2001.
Yes.
Vince immigrates to Canada.
Yes.
And Canada was like importing, what do you call that? You're a person who looks for employees, recruiting
yeah,
people to come and work for them in the and I wrote it down here too. It was like they were looking for more upstanding or educated workers.
Okay.
So they didn't need blue collar people. They really needed people to fill white collar jobs kind of situation.
Okay.
Doctors, lawyers, higher intelligence people. Not that, a janitor is not smart, but, someone who had the credentials to back up a white collar job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have white collar, we have blue collar. Nothing's wrong with either. But I wanted to, here it is. The Federal Skilled Worker Program. That's what Canada called it. Federal Skilled Worker Program. Skilled workers. There you go. That's a nicer way to put it, I guess.
Got it.
So it was a really competitive kind of program of being accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Canada was looking for educated professionals. That's ultimately what it comes down to. And computer science clearly is one of those things. So that fit the bill perfectly for Li.
Yeah.
Now, he arrives. He's hopeful. It's a brand new start, fresh beginning. And I imagine, again, never having moved anywhere, like physically and permanently pulled up everything and gone to a completely foreign land.
Yeah, that's a huge change.
Everything is new. Everything is foreign.
Yeah.
The grocery store layouts, your transit
Yeah, I mean,
abilities.
even,
I
like,
mean,
the streets
right.
outside, like, everything
The
is
street
different.
signs,
Where you
you know,
live, how you live.
the cultural expectations. I mean, I imagine that is incredibly overwhelming.
Yeah, and I mean, every culture so sorry, I'm
No, go,
taking
yeah.
off on a little tangent, but I'm reading another John Douglas book
So fast.
on motive, and, he's talking about how or sorry, this isn't even the book. I'm taking a course on profiling online because your girl is obsessed,
That's cool.
and, anyway, so I'm taking this course, and it's talking about how, like, nonverbal communication, nonverbal cues are different in every country. Every culture has a different thing. So, yeah, so I'd
Yeah.
imagine going from China to Canada, it's not just what you see, but it's, like,
Mhm.
how people interact with each other and
Right.
how people talk. Everything is different.
And to piggyback off of that, it's not just like China to South Korea, where you're still kind of
Right,
familiar.
yeah.
It's Eastern world to Western world, completely different
Yeah. I mean,
things.
the
Yeah.
healthcare system's all different. Yeah,
Everything. Yeah.
everything, yeah.
Huh. So he was probably pretty overwhelmed, but still hopeful and excited because you
Mhm.
have that like fresh, yeah, I'm gonna do something,
Yeah.
And he was good. He got married.
Oh, nice.
Um I didn't see anywhere where he had kids,
Okay.
but he was married. And unfortunately, even with his computer science degree and this federal I went away from it again. What was it called? Federal Skilled Worker Program. He couldn't get a job using his credentials.
Hmm.
So he had bills. He still had to work. So, and he wasn't opposed to doing, the things that most people would be like, oh, I'm doing
Wait,
that.
so he did the skilled labor program, but then wasn't able to get a job in
Right.
that?
Right. So my research of this, again, this was years ago, but
That wasn't my look wasn't towards you, it was towards
no,
Canada,
no,
like
I got you. I got you. But my understanding of this program was not that we have a job for you,
Oh,
but that we are looking to populate our country with smarter people. Like, in a
okay.
nutshell, that's kind of how I took it,
Okay. So
which is kind of like a false promise.
yeah, exactly, I'm like, false advertising, that's dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, like, he would work jobs at McDonald's. He would go, he was I think a restocker or a cashier at Walmart.
Hmm.
He worked janitorial positions and he was a newspaper deliverer. So very low paying jobs, but he was a hard worker.
Yeah.
And he didn't really, yeah, I don't know if he didn't understand, but he didn't like accept the stigma of that's a menial job, kind of
Oh,
thing.
right.
He wasn't high toity and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Um, and every one of his employers, of all those, I don't know if they were part-time, but kind of menial jobs, always described him kind of similarly, like he was hardworking, he was reliable, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing concerning or anything like that about his behavior or habits or anything like that.
Okay.
So just a guy.
Just a guy.
Just a guy. He showed up, he did his job, he went on. None of his coworkers like, "Oh, yeah, Vince, he was always flipping tables in the in the staff room," No. Actually, what's really, in my mind, sad, a lot of the coworkers, his previous coworkers, struggled to even remember him
Oh, no.
because he was just so,
Oh, yeah, because he was just a regular yeah, I mean, I guess you can't
yeah.
remember everybody, yeah.
I mean, he wasn't
Yeah.
memorable, which sounds really sad, but
Which is opposite of the victim.
right, right. Everybody remembered Tim because he was
Yeah.
so outgoing and made friends with everybody and so nice and kind and yeah, in
Yeah.
complete opposites. I didn't even catch that. That's a good one. Good catch. Um, he did get married, right? He had a very normal life right now.
Okay.
This is the part of the episode where you're like, but it's crime chats.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Something's
then
going down. How did he
how
get
did
to the
he
other part?
yeah, how did we get yeah.
So it's kind of like in true crime documentaries or scary movies. It's like this, nothing like that ever happens here. We keep our doors open, that kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, no, that's kind of like this part.
Yeah.
So when Vince, oh gosh, it was 2004, so he was about, go with math again, 36, 35, 36.
I'm just gonna I mean, it sounds good to
Nod and
me.
smile. um, Small things were starting to kind of change in his behaviors.
Okay.
It wasn't like, boom, you wake up one day and he was, kind of
Okay.
thing. It was small things over time.
I have a thought that I'm gonna keep to myself
No, share it.
until you confirm or deny.
Share it.
What?
Share it.
But I don't want to ruin it if I.
I won't give anything away.
Okay. My thought. I'm not gonna look at her face because
Glass
microexpressions
face?
are a thing. My thought is schizophrenia because it usually kicks in around, but that's 20s where
True.
it usually
True.
comes up. So there's like another decade. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe anyway. That's
Okay.
my thought. We'll see.
Now that you said that, I'm curious also. This is gonna sound dumb. Please don't judge me. Judge me. I don't care. Being raised in a very vastly different societal, cultural, normative area.
Right.
I know that shouldn't, and I don't think it does, make a difference based off of your chemical makeup, obviously, but like disorders that present themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm wondering if the cultural shift either delayed onset of whatever or going to Canada, like that, going there.
I mean, the big shift would have exacerbated it because it's a huge stressor.
Right.
But I'm thinking like, so I've never been to China. I've never grown up in China. Obviously, I don't know, but maybe they're so structured
Right.
as like younger people that like it wouldn't have really come out
As odd.
as much.
Right.
Or, or
That's
like
what
his
I was trying to get
behaviors
across,
would have
yeah.
just been corrected immediately, and then he wouldn't have, nobody would have like looked further or been like,
Right.
why is he anyway.
And that's kind of what I was going with there. Also, being in South Texas, we have a lot of niche kind of pockets of cultures, and specifically, and this is backed up by scientific journals, I promise, they're in less so in Caucasian dynamics or demographics than in Hispanic, Latino, and African American Black. There's a lot more in the minorities of those two anyways. I'm not sure about Asian cultures, but the Hispanic, Latino, and African American Black cultures, there's a huge stigma around mental disorders and defects.
Yeah. I heard that too.
And that was one of the courses I took when I was doing the MFT.
Oh, yeah.
Was about cultural thoughts and things like surrounding mental defects, disorders, and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about the Asian population, if there's also like we don't talk about it, or we'll handle it in house.
You gotta think there probably is, just because like, the kids have to do well in school and they have to become something great and they have to bring honor to their families or whatever. Right. And so it's all about that. And so there's probably a huge stigma.
I would imagine. I just haven't looked into that or seen that across anything that I've researched.
Yeah,
or looked
that's my guess, but it's a guess. I don't know.
Right. Anyway, so that you talking about it possibly being schizophrenia, where you were saying it doesn't really show up until your 20s, mid-20s, but he's past that. And I'm like, well, that's what I was trying to get across was, is there something culturally? Yeah.
So maybe it does make sense more than I thought.
More than it doesn't?
Yeah.
I don't know, and we won't know, but we can speculate. And that's what this is.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing your thoughts. You will soon find out if you are corrected.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I don't think soon. It'll be quite a bit later, but
I can't wait.
Yeah. Okay. So again, small things are happening, changes in his behaviors, his like not quips, but little things he's doing or saying or reacting to and stuff like that. His wife notices he's starting to go days without sleeping or eating.
Oh, bipolar?
Ideas. Also doesn't really evolve until a little earlier than schizophrenia, but we have a whole season on. I love DSM.
Yeah, me too.
I love mental disorders. They're so fascinating. But like bipolar is labeled something else in children because you can't technically be diagnosed with bipolar until you're 18, which I think is the stupidest thing in the world. But I guess you're still growing and developing, and so you could just
your
have
brain, they say your brain doesn't fully develop until 25. So where does 18 come in?
America.
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 America, where we just arbitrarily choose things.
We like the number 18, which I still think shouldn't be the age of legal adulthood. You're still
It's
so
not. It's
immature.
not.
Like
It's not.
you.
And legal age of alcohol should be 25. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but that's your brain is still developing till 25. So why are you gonna
irreparable damage?
don't f it up with alcohol until it's done?
So should you not be considered an adult till 25? Yes, I think so.
Probably, yeah. I like that.
Let's write to our congressman.
Oh, your mom just texted you. Sorry.
What did she say?
She's at the hospital with Diana. She's having surgery. So, prayers.
Diana. Okay. God, you got this. Okay. Yes, that's how I pray sometimes, and that's okay. God hears me.
That means someone's watching us that isn't your mom.
Welcome.
Welcome. Say hi.
We want to know you. Okay.
We're such dorks. Okay.
But that's what you watch. Okay. So the little things, wife is noticing he's not eating or sleeping for days.
Okay, that's not good.
Which takes me back to college, because I went to college originally to be an architect. Fun stuff. And in those days of studio, we have big projects, and all the tools you have are in the studio classroom, because you can't possibly take all of them to your dorm anyways. So you stay there. And all-nighters were a thing in college. And if you're young enough to do that, I envy you.
Yeah, just lots of snacks, lots of drinks. Yeah.
We would take turns going on Red Bull runs and taco runs.
Yep.
Like
Several
5 or 6 of us staying in studio. Yep.
Lots of all-nighters in the JPL, which is the library at the UTSA. So we called them like JPL, and
Yep.
you could get like a tiny room.
Like a study room kind of thing?
Like a study room, yeah. So like a tiny one for 2 people, or like bigger one for more people. But like honestly, like we would do like maybe 1 hour of like the work, but then the rest of it was just like screwing around.
I mean, that's part of fun of college, right?
There was a big whiteboard, and we'd write like I'd write like boobs in the corner, and like just dumb college shit.
Can I say something that I completely forgot about until now? About a study group?
Yes.
This is something, talking about haunting memories that affect me probably only because I feel like awful. Talk about like remove foot from mouth situation. This was probably the first one as an adult.
Oh God.
And obviously young adult in college, but I was in a study group, and I think at this point I had changed majors over to education. So it was probably like junior or senior year, which makes it worse because I should have known better. But we're up in Dallas area. So there was, for when I went to college, I was up in Dallas area. Hugely multicultural region. There we go, words. And so our study group, obviously our classes were so diverse, in cultures and people, and I loved it so much. Well, our little study group, maybe I'm counting all of them now. 7, including myself, on a good day. But sometimes, someone can't come or it interferes with this class or whatever. One of our study group members was a practicing Muslim, and she, guys, forgive me, but it's confession moment right now. I've forgotten about this moment. We were in the middle of studying for some big exam, and a wailing alarm, literally it was wailing, comes from her phone. And I laughed at it. Apparently, that was her timer for prayer, because in the Islamic faith, there's a very specific structured prayer schedule, throughout every day. And it was like the sounds of prayer wails. That was her alarm. And I felt immediately like the biggest I don't even have a word, but I was just like,
I don't judge you for that. I mean, it like if it was quiet and then suddenly there's like a kind of a loud noise, you're gonna just react to the noise. You're not immediately gonna think what it could be based on who she is and what's happening, right?
I just
So don't.
remember feeling so like I wish I could just crawl in a hole right now, And I was like,
Okay.
oh. But I learned that day that's what that noise was, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
If it helps you feel better, the one that I shared with you earlier today was worse.
I don't think so. Okay, that's funny. Okay, wait,
Okay.
it was a moment. So
Okay.
that was my confession of my cultural
It's a daytime.
cultural ignorance as a college student. I'm better now. If you're watching this anytime in the future, please forgive me. Person, I won't say your name. You know who you are.
I forgive you.
So, culture. I guess that does make it does kind of connect to our story because
Full
it's just,
circles everywhere.
we are full circles. So all of this, going back to college and all-nighters and stuff, one all-nighter, no biggie. But Vince is going days
Oh.
without sleeping, without eating. And my first thought on this was sleep deprivation can do a lot to your brain, your perception.
All the moms, we understand.
Exactly. New parents, old parents. Yeah, it alters your character,
Yeah.
in ways that maybe you're not so proud of, and maybe you're like, I don't know, I could do that. But I mean, kind of keep that in the back of your mind too. He's sleep deprived. He's not eating, and then this is happening over an extended period of time, right? It's not just wakes up one day and starving and can't sleep. It's day after day, week after week, and then the wife is noticing he's just crying, like
Yeah,
all
you're
the
not
time,
sleeping or eating.
and there's like no reason that she can see why he would be upset to be crying. So
Okay, well now I'm more leaning towards bipolar. 'Cause mania and then.
right. Um,
But if he's crying while he's also not sleeping or eating,
yes.
then that's.
So there's periods of time where just like sobbing uncontrollably,
Oh,
and she's like,
okay.
and then he starts talking about God,
Huh, okay.
not in a like I'm thinking about whatever, existential kind of thoughts, but it's like something now has flipped, and he's convinced God is talking to him, not figuratively, not theoretically. He is talking to me,
Okay, now we're back to schizophrenia.
and he's chosen me to save the world.
Okay.
Okay. And at this point, the wife is like,
I mean, yeah. I'd be like, well,
okay.
the whole world, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a big world.
He believed God was communicating directly with him,
Okay.
giving him.
Could he hear stuff, or was it just
Yes.
thoughts? Okay,
Yes.
he could hear.
He was hearing God's
So auditory
voice.
hallucinations. Okay.
And I want to now bring up the possible diagnosis
Okay.
based off of hindsight in 2020, as we have here on Crime Chats. I think there's a misconception about schizophrenia.
Oh, okay.
So you were correct in your first thought.
Yes.
Schizophrenia is
Yes.
the disorder of this episode.
I did it.
She did it. And I want you to just kind of think what schizophrenia means to most people. Like what do you imagine a person suffering from schizophrenia acts like, talks like, dresses like, whatever?
I don't know. When I think schizophrenia, I think of someone who is just kind of like maybe not constantly all the time, but they kind of are in their own world, or like there's like they have these they have these thoughts, and then the way they see the world is vastly different, obviously, than other people, and so they kind of like they are in that world, so when they talk or they communicate or they interact with things in our worlds, they're seeing
Their reality.
their reality,
Yeah.
which is different. And so, like, to everybody else, it seems like, what are they doing? But in their mind, they're reacting to something real that's happening in their head.
That makes sense. I had originally written in my notes, when people, generic people, imagine schizophrenia or someone suffering from schizophrenia, I think Hollywood has done the world a major disservice.
Yeah, it really has.
Because the general think of a schizophrenic person as like erratically acting and like, and talking to all the voices in their mind. And that's not the case hardly ever. I don't know who decided to portray it that way originally, but that's
I mean, it's all about sensationalizing everything. So, like, a movie is gonna make it seem like you have to make everything bigger and weirder and
right.
crazier to, like, get people watching. But, like, I don't understand. I'm like, just teach us the true things.
Okay, so because Hollywood has ruined your perception, not you, but you, general, we're taking it to the books.
Yay!
So I have schizophrenia pulled up in the book, the DSM-5, Diagnostics and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, Volume 5.
Love that book.
I love this book so much. This is my bedtime story. No, that would kind of actually scare me because these are real. So schizoaffective disorder, diagnostic criteria. And I'm going to read quite a bit here. Just, I need you to try to follow along with me. So we have,
Informative.
yes, diagnostic criteria, A, an uninterrupted period of illness during which there is a major mood episode, like major depressive or manic, which is kind of where you were going with
Yeah.
bipolar, concurrent with criterion A of schizophrenia, which we'll get to. This is diagnostic criteria.
Okay.
B, delusions or hallucinations of 4 to or more weeks in the absence of a major mood episode, so not being manic or depressive, during the lifetime duration of the illness.
Okay.
C, symptoms that meet criteria for a major mood episode are present for the majority of the total duration of the active and residual portions of the illness. So you're still reacting to your altered reality, whether you're sleeping or not, whether you're manic or not, it's still there.
Okay.
So it's trying to just set the
Yeah.
standard there. It doesn't have to align or cohabit with the depression or with the mania.
Okay.
And then let's get the diagnostic criteria D. The disturbance is not attributable to the effects of a substance. So no marijuana, no opioids, no cocaine, that kind of stuff, or any other medical condition.
Oh, okay.
Those are the 4 diagnostic criteria.
Okay.
And they all have to happen together.
Okay.
Okay. Diagnostic features. The diagnosis of schizoaffective disorder is based on the assessment of an uninterrupted period of illness during which the individual continues to display active or residual symptoms of psychotic illness. Diagnosis is usually, but not necessarily, made during the period of psychotic illness. So it's unlikely that your psychiatrist would diagnose you as schizophrenic if you're having a great day.
Yeah.
Right? So these kinds of diagnoses.
So it's always there, it's just not always apparent.
Right.
Okay.
It's not always grandiose kind of situations. Right. These diagnoses would not be a one and done kind of meeting with a doctor. It's a recorded over time patterns of behaviors and stuff. In addition to the 5 symptom domain areas identified in the diagnostic criteria, the assessment of cognition, depression, and mania symptom domains is vital for making critically important decisions between the various schizophrenia spectrum and other psychotic disorders. So, like, again, you were already making comparisons between bipolar and schizophrenia. There are a lot of disorders that overlap. That's called comorbidity. That's the thing.
Right.
They're trying to tell you in this moment that schizophrenia is very specific and it's got to have these 4 things all at once happening. So, there is, I was so sure I read earlier that, about an age of onset.
I've heard it's 20s, but that might be wrong.
I have too, and it happens earlier in men than women.
Okay.
And that's in here.
But that's probably just because how it affects women might be different. And so
Sure,
you might just
exactly,
like
exactly.
ADHD, women don't get diagnosed ADHD until like they're 30, like I was.
Right.
And then I took Adderall and then I was like, my life is awesome. What the
I can function.
I was like, what's happening? Why am I so happy? Anyway.
Oh, so culture-related diagnostic issues.
Nice.
But I will get to it in a second. The other one was the functional consequences of schizoaffective disorder, because you just said that about functioning and stuff. Schizoaffective disorder is associated with social and occupational dysfunction,
Okay.
but dysfunction is not a diagnostic criteria.
Okay.
So, of course, it's going to affect your life.
Yeah.
One way or another.
But just because you have dysfunction in your job doesn't mean you're schizophrenic.
Right. Or just because you have schizophrenia doesn't mean you can't work.
Right.
Or have a normal life. Make that very clear. Mental disorders and defects and diseases do not give you a death sentence. They're perfectly livable with doctor supervision. While I'm on that, we are not doctors or medical professionals. Please consult your doctor if you feel like you need to be.
Exactly. Yeah,
seen.
us reading the DSM does not mean you get to self-diagnose.
Please.
People, yeah.
But the culture-related part, I did want to kind of go over a second. Culture-related diagnostic issues. Cultural and socioeconomic factors must be considered, particularly when the individual and the clinician do not share the same culture and economic background. This is interesting because later we're going to hear about some psychiatrists that clearly he's in Canada, so they're probably not Asian. They might be.
Mm-hmm.
But it does make a difference, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, you inside your own racial, ethnic bubble.
And plus just the comfort level.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You don't
yeah.
understand as much as you say, oh, but I whatever. I don't see color. I don't see that.
We're tribal beings.
Yeah.
So, like, we put ourselves into groups. That's just what we do. That's how we are.
And that doesn't mean I don't like you because you're not in my group.
Yeah.
It's, you don't understand me. I don't understand you on the level that maybe someone in my bubble does.
Yeah.
And that's not bad. It's not wrong.
Yeah.
We're having a moral conversation, which is great. Anyways, so the whole point of this is, if you were to go to a doctor, a psychiatrist, a therapist, whatever, of your own ethnicity or socioeconomic class, it's almost like inherently, without trying to, you trust them and their opinions, their professional opinions, more, or you believe they understand how XYZ is affecting you because we're kind of similar in that sense.
Right.
So I just think it's really interesting of that, because there's obviously scientific evidence of those happenings. So ideas that appear to be delusional in one culture, like witchcraft, may be commonly held in another. There is also some evidence in the literature for the overdiagnosis of schizophrenia compared with schizoaffective disorder.
I feel like these days there's overdiagnosis for everything.
Yes.
We're just, I mean, even without the self-diagnosis, because that's rampant, there's also like, I'm sure.
Just a quick fix here. No one wants to do the work.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't finish the sentence.
Oh.
And it would have been really helpful. It's not you, it's me. There's also some evidence in the literature for the overdiagnosis of schizophrenia compared to schizoaffective disorder in African American and Hispanic populations. So just back to what I was saying, just those are the ones I'm also more comfortable with understanding in that sense. I don't have a lot of experience with the Asian population. So care must be taken to ensure a culturally appropriate evaluation that includes both psychotic and affective symptoms instead of just psychoaffective. So we could read all day. If you want me to, I can start a channel. I will. Suicide risks are higher in schizoaffective disorder.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
I mean, because your reality is literally altered, and I don't know, because I don't have schizophrenia. I imagine that's alarming if you're experiencing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't know what's real and what's not.
Sorry, this is another, it's related, but it's random. I was watching a show one time. It was like a medical drama show, but the ER psychiatrist, he had this VR headset to kind of people that didn't know what a mental illness felt like
Yeah.
they could put this on, and then, like, so this one doctor put it on, and it was, like, constantly, like, "You're the worst, and everyone hates you, and you should just like, constantly, and so he, like, ripped it off, and he was like, "Oh my god," you know? But that was really
Yeah.
interesting. I wonder if that kind of thing actually exists.
It does. I know. Well, I don't know about like the negative self thoughts, but sure, if you wanted to practice that, that's
And then it was like, "That guy's gonna kill you," and, like, "This guy is
paranoia.
general
Yeah.
it was just yeah, it was just
I
constantly these
the
thoughts.
only correlation to that I know does exist in real world situations is a dementia
Okay.
um
I didn't know the dementia had
practice. I
that.
don't even know like to be able to kind of wear. I don't know if you've heard of drunk goggles.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a drunk goggle situation, but it's also like you have this weird like the
Oh.
there's like all the different sensory kind of things, and then
Oh,
all of this stuff is kind of going at you at once, and things are just proportionally wrong from reality kind of thing, and then you're confused because you're like, wait, where did I put that? Because all this stuff is happening,
yeah.
and so this forgetfulness and stuff for dementia. Anyways, it's a really helpful exercise for families that have a person suffering from dementia. I think it's important, being the first episode also of this season of this theme, we need to practice seeing things, be in their shoes kind of
Yeah, from
situation,
a
you know?
different lens, yeah.
I'm gonna back up a tiny bit because we were talking about if your brain, like the world, the Hollywoodized version of schizophrenia is like this, like talking to somebody 24/7 that nobody else can hear, or
Mhm.
tick tick tick, your ticks all the time, and
Yeah.
this stuff. The scary part about that is what we just read about schizophrenia is it's an altered version of reality that you're living as real.
Yeah.
And so if your brain is telling you something isn't there that is, or something is there that isn't, it's a slippery slope, I think, into that disorder where you can't tell hardly ever when something is or isn't really there, or what is and isn't true. So I think I don't know because we don't have the any kind of interviews like this, but I wonder if people with paranoia or schizoaffective disorders know, like when, are you understand what I
Yeah,
mean? I think if we can all just be open about mental issues,
yeah.
it would be so much less taboo.